All right, all right. You got Carlos Mack here. We had another episode of Perspective, and I give it to you raw every week. I got a guest, a special guest, Miss Angel Charmaine, in the house. Miss Angel, could you please let everybody know what you got going on and what you're all about, real quick, please?
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you, Carlos, for inviting me onto Perspective to share today. I really appreciate that.
No
Um,
problem. No problem.
my name is Angel Charmaine Wright. My pseudonym is Angel Charmaine. I'm a three-time self-published author. I am also the CEO and founder of Speak Up Sis LLC. We create spaces that allow people to acknowledge, own, and give voice to their stories in order to inspire the stories of others.
Okay.
We've got a few spaces that have been created. We've got Speak Up Sis podcast. I'm really excited to announce that we are now able to be heard on Pandora. Woo, woo, woo.
Okay.
So you can listen to Speak Up Sis podcast,
Right.
Pandora, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, like everywhere. You can check us out. We've got Speak Up Sis Bookshelf for authors. If you're looking for a way to get increased visibility and more readers for your books, you can check out the bookshelf. And we also have Speak Up Sis Talk Show, where we interview authors to help them get their voices out there as well. So a whole lot going on. And for those of
Got a
you who
full
don't
plate.
know, I'm Carlos's sister.
Son gave it away already. Right. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, sis. I know you got a busy schedule, really busy schedule, and what that means is that we're not going to take up all your time, but I do want to get your perspective on it as a sister in the community, somebody that's positive in the community, and somebody with a very, very vocal voice, very outspoken voice. That's why I want you to come on. So today's topic, if it doesn't show, it should, is four shots too many. I know it's kind of catchy, and if you don't know, I hope I say her name right, Miss My'khiah, was shot by the police officers trying to stop her, or allegedly trying to stop her from killing another person.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, they actually shot her four times, and killed her. And so now the big uproar, and obviously as a Black community, we don't play that no more.
Mm-hmm.
We don't play police brutality, excessive force, etc. anymore. It's a hot topic, a button that it's going to get us fired up, literally. So that being said, one of the biggest things that have been out, and real quick, let me see if I can get this going. If you bear with me for a second, let me give everybody see, because everybody may not be up on game on what's going on. So I'm gonna see if I can just show this real quick, and if it will let me. All right. All right. I hope everybody can hear that. And we tried it before, and they really weren't able to hear it. Yeah.
We're not live.
Okay. It says live on the top of my screen.
Yeah.
So we'll look at it outside of this real quick.
Yeah, because we're recording is live. The recording is live.
Let me make sure. And even still, that's fine. We'll go ahead and post it once we're done.
Okay.
So let's just go ahead and finish discussing the topic.
Okay.
One of the biggest things with me in that is that first, the police officers have, I guess, they done their homework. In the past, they've released footage later, dang near when the trial was rolling,
Mm-hmm.
um, because it's usually them trying to subdue the situation and hide situations and not put the cop in any kind of legal problems. But what they've learned is to go ahead and get that footage out instantly. Like, this is one of the fastest methods. And some of the research I've done, that's what this police department um, decided to do on a PR matter, is just to get it on out there so that they can get ahead of anybody saying what the police officer did. So what's your take on it as far as the first and foremost, she has a knife, obviously. And the first thing that I got when I saw this situation on Facebook and some of the other social medias, I got that she called the police and the police shot her. Like,
Right.
that was the bottom line. Like, she called the police and she was getting jumped and they shot her. That was all I got. But now that we got a little bit more going on, what is your take on it? Do you think that that's excessive force? Do you think that's enough
Right.
force? Or
Um, first thing, I'm all about women.
uh,
And I'm all about supporting women
right,
and girls and things like that. So first I want to say I think it's a tragedy that a 15, 16-year-old girl is dead because of because of some fighting and some, I would even want to know what they even were jumping her for, because that would probably piss me off even more to know that
you wouldn't want to know, or you would want to know?
I would, because I would like to know what was so, that you needed to go jump on her for
Right,
the street. But aside from that, I just want to say before I share my thoughts that I think it's a tragedy that she lost her life over some foolishness. That's the first thing I want to make sure that I stress. I
right,
don't watch television. I don't listen to the radio. So I caught wind of this on social media. Some
right,
people posting. And so I went to see, like, what is this? What are they talking about? So I saw the video as well. And I'm going to tell you, initially, when I saw the video, I was like, I don't really understand why this is an issue.
right. Why? Oh, why is an issue?
Not why it's an the issue being, why is this being broadcasted everywhere? Somebody has got a knife and is getting ready to stab somebody. The police shoots, and so initially that's my thought, because
Okay,
that's you look at the video, that's what it is.
right,
And so after sort of digesting it and getting a fuller understanding, like I heard, I listened to the 911 call, and first I didn't know it was the girl calling 911 until
yep,
it tells you that. I'm thinking someone called 911,
right,
and then they show the video where there's a woman or a female who has a knife,
right,
who's attacking someone. So I didn't put two and two together that the caller was a girl. I'm thinking
right,
to myself, my goodness, the police officers got the person that the call was about.
right,
Until I realized the girl called and somehow she got outside with a knife. Then as you continue to go and to dig into it, you realize that there were other young ladies that came to attack her at her house. And so she's now defending herself. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So my thing when it comes to the police, though,
okay,
because I think that's the issue that people really want to deal. Nobody really wants to deal with the fact that you got young girls going to other girls' houses, jumping on them. And I
right.
feel very strongly about this because
Oh,
I've had this
going
experience.
way back in
Right.
the day. Yeah,
So
I understand.
so here's the thing. When it comes to the officer, I believe that it is possible to what's the word I'm looking for? To
Subdue perhaps.
yes,
Okay.
subdue, or to stop the perpetrator
Right.
without killing the perpetrator. However,
Okay.
with that being said,
Right.
I'm not a police officer, and what I have heard from Black police officers, white police officers, just police officers in general,
Okay.
that they're trained to stop the threat.
They're trained to kill. Yes.
They're trained to, like,
Well.
when they
Well.
shoot,
Right. When they shoot.
when they're shooting, like that's they're not
Right.
thinking wound
Shoot
you.
them in the leg or etc. So
Right.
try to shoot the knife out of their hands. I've heard.
Right. So
They've also said that. Just to interrupt real quick, they've also said that there was a taser pulled initially, and then they opted to use the gun. So, what do you think as far as that level of force used? I have my own opinions on it, but I'm really interested. Really interested in what you think about it.
I feel like, I think our police officers use guns with real bullets far too much.
Okay.
Too often. That's what I believe. I don't believe that every situation requires a gun pulled when you have other means of stopping a perpetrator. I feel like the use of gunfire to stop people of color and Black people specifically, it's clearly is disproportionate. We can look, and we can go there. We can pull up all sorts of videos where we see. I just saw a video where a man who's a white man pretty much tackled the officers, got in the car, and started trying to run over, and no one.
They got a name for that gentleman. He's going viral. It's been out for a little bit, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right?
And his wife is behind him, like, "You're going to get in trouble, Harold," or something like that.
And here's the thing: you have to ask yourself,
I really need to find
why
out.
was deadly force not used in that situation where the officers were clearly being assaulted? The officers were clearly in danger. Whereas with this young girl, the officer wasn't in danger. The other person was. Therefore, the officer could have, used some other type of force to get that girl off the other girl without anyone dying. And I think for me, just like I just mentioned this. I know personally what it's like to be jumped on by girls. I know personally, I've been there, but I am still alive to tell the story. And those girls I don't know where they are in their lives, but I know they didn't die right that day. Right. We all are alive to tell the story of the time I got jumped on. You know what I'm saying? There were no shots fired.
No shots, but no police officer called at that time.
No police officer shooting, no people shooting. And so I just believe that our police officers if their training tells them to shoot on sight, then they need some new training.
I'm sorry for me looking off. I was trying to find the footage of that gentleman that was but basically they're trained to, and a lot of people on the other side of this, they'll say that there's a large amount of white people that get taken down or shot, etc. But if you look at the numbers, though, it should be an exorbitantly more amount of white people or whatever, because we're only 13, whatever the percentage is, 13% of the population. So in actuality, we should be far less on that. And then their argument is also that we're doing more crime. Well, that's not true either. You got just as much opioid use and methamphetamines and crime in suburbia or even in hoods or wherever else, other people like to live. It's just they target them and then they use more extreme force whenever they're dealing with a black person. But that being said, in this situation with this young lady, the problem we have is, and I always say, I do not stand behind BS. I can't make a martyr out of someone if they're in the negative, even if it does push the cause, because that's what's happening. No matter what happens, if the culture decides to get behind a video, it's a wrap. It's going
viral. And I don't do the culture eat. I don't follow the culture. That's just not something that I do. But
in the only devil's advocate type of information I could give in this situation is that no matter what, we got them on their toes. The reason you didn't know about the reason you got the information just like the way that the PR representatives for the cops wanted you to, instantly, quickly. You saw the footage before. Most people didn't see the cop footage until well after there was just one footage. To be clear, initially there was one footage, and that was a webcam from someone's phone, and the lady was screaming, "That's somebody's daughter."
Oh goodness, I don't even think I saw that.
That's someone's daughter. And cussing him out. Now, that's all people got, and instantly it went viral because you see her laying there. All you see is her feet. You see people around. They got, and then you got the news. Who love to spin stuff and get us riled up too, which we got to look out for. The first thing they say is they show is the police officer just standing there looking unresponsive to anybody, standing over the girl, just kind of looking around well after the situation happened. So that being said, we have to be careful of what we allow ourselves to be kind of led by the nose on.
Right, and manipulated. I totally agree.
But this is just one incident in that situation. It's kind of the opposite side of it. But everybody right now is saying, why 4 shots? That's the movement. Why 4 shots? That's the movement. But if you watch the video, it's pow, 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 pow. It's not pow. Let me see. Pow. Let me see.
And that's the thing that I'm saying when it comes to when you talk about training and how they're trained, it's almost like that's an automatic boom, boom, boom.
Oh, it's absolutely.
But here again, I'm not a police officer, so I don't want anybody trying to come for me about. I can't tell you what their training is because I'm not an officer.
Right.
But it seems to be in a lot of the shootings that we see, there are multiple rounds that kind of fire off quickly like that.
Right.
That tells me that clearly that's some type of protocol. I don't know, but and I know everybody wants to focus on the 4 shots, but like you said, when we started with the protesting, a part of the issue that I had was that I feel like we as a people are using 1960s tactics in 2021.
You mean we as a people, like as black people?
I mean, black people when it comes to the things we want to stand behind and racism and stuff like that. We're using aged tactics as if these people don't already know. They may have been new in 1960, but they knew now, right? And like you just said, they already got a leg up. Like, okay, we've been through this because they've already gone back to the drawing board to figure out, we got to do this because this is too hot. This is all these things are going on. So this is what we got to do. So then that takes me to what I do and where I know we want to focus on the gunshots. And I know so many people don't want to hear this.
Right.
But at some point, we have to ask ourselves, how did these teenage girls get into this space with adults around them? Why didn't the adults? Because I remember being in a situation jumped by 10 girls Okay. I remember some adults, right, coming in to try to pull girls off and stop whatever. There were people in the space who were trying to stop what was going on. You know, so my and here again, some people will say it's deflecting from the fact that we got a police brutality issue. My thing is, if they're getting smarter about how to not get in trouble, we may want to get smarter about how to not get in trouble.
Well, to clarify, she stated that they need to get out there. One, because she was getting jumped, or they were trying to jump her. I don't know if they did or not. And they were trying to hit her grandma. So there was a couple of different things where it was adults in the situation, but they couldn't obviously handle. And they look like some pretty hefty, grown women. They didn't seem like some little tiny kids running around there.
There was a grown man kicking somebody in the head.
Yeah, nobody talks about that part anyway. But it's just, they pick it. And this is my thing, man. We got to fight our battles strategically, like you said. We got to be smart, because the more we stay in that mindset that we're supposed to have a knee-jerk reaction about everything, it's going to get us into trouble, because it discredits when we do have a cause. You know what I'm saying? It makes it seem like we just arguing about anything. When it comes to this situation, it's 4 shots. I'm gonna say it straight up. Is 4 shots too much? No. If you know anything about self-defense, if you shoot one time, you might not hit anything vital. That person may come and beat you up, take your weapon from you. If you have to group your shots and you have to shoot to kill. If you do not do that, then there's a good chance that person's going to be so amped up they could take your weapon and then you're into another situation.
And I think the issue then becomes, did this police officer believe that this girl, if he didn't kill or if he didn't stop her, that his life would be in jeopardy?
Well, it's not his.
I think the issue, although I would really like to deal with the whole fact that the police officers had to even be involved, I really think we really should be focused on those types of issues, because you can't say that you can't be mad at the police and then call them all at the same time. So I really would prefer to focus on why were they called and why was this thing not de-escalated without the police? But since they're in it, my thing is this, like you just said, you say 4 shots was enough because, listen, the first one might not, and whatever, they could do whatever.
Right.
But that girl was at such a distance. It's not like she would have turned. I mean, we look at the video. He was still at his vehicle. She was on another vehicle. The officer was not in danger. We have to own that. The officer was not in danger. Therefore, if he had, missed the first time or whatever, his life was not in danger. Not only that, he wasn't the only officer there.
Right.
He's not the only officer there. So I just feel like there were some other ways that this could have been de-escalated.
Well,
there are some other ways that this could have been de-escalated that did not result in this girl being murdered. That's just the way that I see it.
I'm gonna have to disagree, but let me bring in Pam real quick. Let me get her in on the action. Pam, can you hear us?
Pam, are we live?
Yes.
Oh, we are. Okay, because it didn't pull up on my phone, so I didn't know we were live.
You know how we do. We makeshift. We're still learning. It's all good. But how you doing, Miss Pam? You want to introduce yourself? I don't know if you can hear us. Oh, can you hear us?
I can hear. I can.
Okay. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself? Go ahead. Tell us who you are.
I'm gonna back up off this
Freezing
camera
up,
some
chicken
since
up.
you got
Yeah.
my head all.
Yeah, you got the selfie thing going on. Okay, I think she froze up. She's doing the car thing. I have to get rid of some of them apps. You know the disclaimer we get,
I don't know.
everybody.
I know, right? I
Right.
definitely got to get rid of some.
But all right, but basically, well, Miss Pam is our co-host. If you guys have ever tuned in before, is my co-host. And she's having some technical difficulties. I'm gonna go ahead and keep on rocking. I disagree. And I usually do for some god awful reason. That's just where I sit in life. I got some bad echo. Hold on.
No, I think you may be hearing Pam's.
Okay, give me 1 second, y'all.
I'll come back on.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
we
little
were
better.
hearing. She was listening, and
Oh, she's going through the probably the speaker in the car. All right, but as I said before, I usually end up on that side of the fence. We were stating that? Oh yeah, you were stating that the cop was not in any kind of imminent danger. The question is not whether or not he was in danger. He's there to protect and serve and stop someone from, if someone's robbing your house and they're about to shoot you, he may not be in imminent danger. He may be around the corner looking at it. But if he were not to do anything, you would think that he wasn't doing his job. It's the same thing in this situation. He's not protecting himself in this situation.
right, he's protecting the person
right,
who's ready to be stabbed.
Right, and she was she was coming. If anything, it was going down. You see what I'm saying? And she wasn't like just waving it. She was coming down when she got shot. And a lot of the times with adrenaline, I just talking movie stuff where somebody gets shots and they keep coming. With adrenaline, if you don't hit somebody or they don't feel it and then get stunned from it, they're going to keep coming. So you have to hit something that's vital, that's gonna, or at least they need to feel a couple of them to say, hey, wait a minute, I'm getting shot. You see what I'm saying? And the gun going off in the air is one thing I thought about. I was like, well, what if you cut up, couple of shots, but they're not allowed to do that anyway. Bullets can go up and down.
Why not use the taser?
The taser, and see that's exactly what a lot of people's issue is with the taser. Why not use that? First, the taser, the distance on where he is, he has to get up closer. Okay, he can't be that far away. So that means he would have had to run towards him and shoot it. Okay, say he was close enough to do that. The taser is not guaranteed to hit and stop her. If you're trying to stop a life, you got to go to the next level. She's on the next level. She's not fighting. You don't hit her with a taser, hit someone with a taser because they're fighting. You hit someone with a taser because they're fighting, or you're just trying to subdue them. But if someone's in a dangerous situation, you're trying to save a life. Bottom line. So you can't. You got to go straight to whatever level of threat they are. And it's sad to say that that's what it is, and someone had to lose their life on it. But if that were your daughter, or your sister or whatever, you would expect that cop to do something.
I'm gonna tell you, it's not. And I don't even think of
Pam,
it in terms of.
make sure you don't have the radio up too loud. You just muted yourself, by the way.
I know.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds better. Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, we took everything off of the computer, off the phone. That was the problem. You was right.
Okay. 10-4. I'm always right. But go ahead, Angel, what you were saying?
I don't look at it in terms of if it was my son or daughter or whatever.
Okay.
If I can just be just 100, people aren't gonna like this. I don't even like to say it.
Don't get your black card taken. I done got mine taken a couple times.
Listen.
I got the brother and sister duo.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
If we take race out, if we take past situations out with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery, we take, Beyonce, we take all of that out.
Turn your radio down a little bit, Pam.
And we just take this particular instance.
All right.
I find it very difficult to demonize this particular officer. I find it difficult to put him in the same category as as the officer with George Floyd. I find it difficult to put them in the same category. And this is why. If you listen to the 911 call, you have someone saying, there is a girl here with a knife trying to stab people. Okay?
I don't think that.
Yeah, no. She did. She said there's a girl, she got a knife. Yes, she did. She told
the cops.
No, listen, let me finish.
Well, I'm okay. I just want to make sure it's clear.
The 911 call, when the girl called 911,
the one that got shot.
Yeah, that's the only 911 call there is.
I don't know that. It's a lot of cops was out there.
Can you let me finish, bruh?
Go ahead and finish. I want to be clear, okay? Because you're confusing me. I'm sure somebody else be confused.
No, they not, because they listen. You not.
Okay, all right.
Keep going. What I'm trying to get people to envision is being in that moment. So you got a 911 call that's made. The person that's on the phone is a female, and she's saying there's a female at my house with a knife. We need a police officer. That's what's being said on the phone, okay?
Okay.
The 911 person is going to tell the police,
right,
there's somebody at this address,
right,
that's a female,
right,
that's got a knife,
okay,
and the caller is afraid, okay,
right.
So now that's all the police knows,
right?
The police doesn't know that when he pulls up, the female with the knife is the actual person that called. He doesn't know that.
Right, absolutely not.
He doesn't. Just listen, hear me out, Pam, because I know you're ready. What I'm trying to get people to see is that this officer came up on the scene based on information he got from a call center.
Okay.
He gets there, he sees what they said was happening. A perpetrator that's female that is trying to hurt people with a knife.
Right.
As soon as he gets there, he sees the knife. Right when he gets there, and she's running out, and she swings at one person. The girl falls down. Then she goes at another, and she's got a knife. So now you got an officer who's got to think extremely quickly as to what to do next. And what he sees is someone building a knife, getting ready to possibly stab somebody else. So he stops the situation. Now, we can argue whether or not it was excessive, or we can argue a lot of things. But I think what we have to do is really look at the situation and say the officer was really in a bad situation from Jump Street. And although we can argue about whether or not it was excessive, whether it was 4 shots or too much or whatever, we cannot say that officer is the same as the George Floyd officer. We cannot. I just don't think that I don't think that his actions should be. I don't think that we should demonize this particular officer because the situation he was in. Not only that, he doesn't know that girl is 15. We're like,
right.
He shot a 15-year-old. She looked like a girl. I didn't realize she was 15 in the video. You don't. That man doesn't know whether that's a 15-year-old girl, whether that's a 20-year-old girl. From the back, she just swinging with a knife. So, are people going to be happy with me saying this? I'm sure not. But the truth is the truth. That situation was a terrible situation to be in. I would not have wanted to be in that kind of situation as an officer, because if he didn't shoot her and she actually got that knife in that girl's neck, and the girl murdered another person, right? Then we would be saying he didn't do it. He don't care about black lives. If
Right.
it was a white person, he would have shot to kill or whatever.
Right.
If it was a white girl on the car, he would have shot to kill.
Right.
But because both the perpetrators are black, it's like who does he save? Does he save the one that's getting ready to be? Then I heard people saying, she was young, she probably wasn't even trying to hurt her. So why do we assume that the officer was trying to hurt her? So we can assume that the 15-year-old girl was playing with a knife.
Right.
She was just trying to scare the girl. But we can't. But then then we gotta hear well, he's trained and she's not. Come on, barbecue mildew. You can't have your cake and eat it.
All right, Pam, what you got?
Okay, so this is what I have about this whole situation. I'm gonna say this. I feel like the officer, honestly, y'all are not gonna believe what I'm about to say. He was just in having to protect the other person. I do agree with Angel. He didn't know what kind of situation he was going in. Now, this is where I disagree. I don't feel like, why is lethal force the go-to when it comes to black communities? That's what I don't like. I feel like he could have did pepper spray, taser. It's a lot of things besides the gun. They train you, and I know she was talking about training and didn't, but they train you to think about those things. I know I've been in situations where there's been fights and all kind of things, and the first thing that they do is pepper spray, and it'll shut the whole inside and outside completely down. That's my opinion.
I'm not.
Hold on.
One at a time. One at a time, y'all.
Angel.
One at a time.
Hold on.
What I'm saying, wait a minute, I want to make clear, I did not say that I agreed with him. I didn't say that my brother agreed, but I said I don't agree with using deadly force like that in order to stop it. I didn't say I agree. I said I disagree. However, I just don't think that we should demonize this particular officer. That's what I said.
That's what I'm saying. Now that where we can agree on. I can agree. I don't feel like this officer had real intentions. I don't think he went in there because with the George Floyd incident, I really do believe that officer was at that particular time when he was doing that was like, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and ain't nothing you can do about it. That was his mentality to me at that particular time. Now with this guy, he didn't know what was going on. It was too much going on, and all he seen was a young lady. And now, mind you, this I also believe that the girls, and y'all might not agree with me on this, but the girls that went to that girl's house, they should be accountable too. They should be accountable for that girl's death. Y'all went to that girl's house. Y'all caused her death by coming to her house, not the officer. Because you was like, if you go in a bank and you rob a bank, the law says if you rob that bank and someone dies in that incident because of you robbing that bank, the bank robbers are going to go up for that particular charge, that murder charge. So I believe that those should be accountable. And I don't think that as a black community, when I'm firm about what I believe in, ain't nothing nobody can say about it. But with this right here incident, I watched it several times because I'm gonna be honest with you. I was trying to find something wrong. But I was like, I watched it about 6 or 7 times over and over. I even slowed it down. But realistically, he didn't know what was going on. It was too much going on. And the only thing I could say that he did wrong was go to the gun first instead of using another type of weapon. That's it. But those, and the mama too. the aunties.
Man.
Oh, y'all in the house, but when the girl gets shot, y'all want to come out and say, why y'all had to shoot my niece? She was a good girl. Well, she was so good, why you had her outside fighting? Stop it with all of this. Black people just got to do better on that. But anyway.
All right, I have to mute you because you got a lot of background. Every time somebody try to talk, I've been trying to give you the message, you ain't getting it. So I have to mute you while I'm talking, somebody else talking. All right. First and foremost, y'all crazy. All right. Y'all feel like you're supposed to.
Carlos muting me because he know.
Yes, I'm a Donald Trump you because you're like, okay, it's your. Let's just use scenarios. I like to use scenarios that everybody can understand. Say it's your sister out there fighting, and a girl has a knife. Your sister felt like, for whatever reason, she needed to go see about this girl. All right, that's totally possible. Look, I need to go see about you. Been talking a lot of junk. So for whatever reason, your sister goes to this girl's house and a knife is pulled out. The girl pulls out a knife. There's a cop standing right there. You want that cop to use pepper spray when the knife is coming down on your sister. You're crazy. Pepper spray ain't gonna do nothing. It's your sister's dead because you want him to use pepper spray from far away. I'm gonna unmute you. Hold up. Uh-oh, we got the problem. Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you put pepper spray in that girl's face, she ain't gonna be able to see where she going.
It's too late.
Be able to
Pam,
taser.
Pam, cut it out. Cut it out.
It would have been better.
Okay, visualize this.
A taser. What
Just listen, because you're doing the mindless sheep black people thing right now, and it really irks me because you're just going off of what you want it to be. This man was nowhere near her. The knife is coming down. What part of that y'all don't get? It's nothing else. You might as well spit on it. He was not near her. What are you talking about? This the webcam. Look at the webcam again, okay? After the 50 times you say you watched it.
I did.
This man is not nowhere near them like that. Okay? Even still, she has a knife.
I'm not saying this man should. I think that he needs to go back to training.
You got to you need to decide what you know because you fishtailing.
I think this man needs to go back to training because he needs to understand when he needs lethal force.
So your sister stabbed up because you want him to throw a rock at her or something. Like
that's
you
right.
want to go trip the girl up and she got a knife coming down.
But you got to understand this. You know, they were in a state that means stand your ground.
That has nope. She was on the yard. She's on the street. They was on the street. That is not her yard. Let me tell you something.
They were in her parking lot. They
Look,
were on her property.
Her parking lot. Really, Pam? Parking lot. She got a parking lot.
Driveway. They was on her driveway.
All right, check it out.
On her property.
All right.
You have the right to defend yourself. It's called stand your ground.
In your house.
Has that law. South Carolina has
in your house,
law, but it ain't called stand your ground.
Okay.
But in the state that they were in,
I'm gonna tell you what she should have did. She should have stood in her kitchen and wait for the cop. She called the police. She called the police.
So if I can interject, this is why I stand in the place I stand in when I don't want to focus on on the 4 shots. Because here's the thing, like my brother said, she was in the house on the phone. She went back outside.
What? Hold on.
No. Wait a minute now.
She was in the house though.
But here,
her cell phone.
But when we saw her, she was coming up off the porch. She when we saw her, she didn't just end up with a knife. That she came from the house, and she came after one girl.
The police were there.
And
already when they started fighting again.
There was somebody. So here's my thing.
There.
Here's the thing.
I'm not saying she was right.
Yes, you are.
But go ahead.
Again, and there ain't nothing else I can say after this. It just is what it is. Come on. You cannot. I don't care. Because see, it's that mentality we have. Whatever. We got that. Those of us who are fighters. Now, I'm not saying all black people. I'm saying black people who are fighters, who are head busters, who ain't finna let you say nothing to me or whatever. There's this mentality that, oh, you gonna get yours. Oh, you not finna come to my house and jump me and think nothing's gonna happen. No, we won't back down. We won't go, you know what? I just call the police. Y'all can stand out there and act crazy all you want. And when they come here, I'm gonna let them deal with y'all. See, no, we say that's being a punk. We say that's being, soft. We say that's being a whole lot of things. But the truth is this. You already called the police. There's an officer already there.
There are people there.
There are people there. There's an officer there. So no, what it is now you mad. You done pumped yourself up to where, now you gonna show out. You done got a knife, because at the time she was not being attacked. At the time she came out with the knife, she was not physically. They may have been standing around talking trash. They may even have jumped her prior to what we saw. But at the time that she started swinging the knife, she was not defending herself. She was getting them back for what they did. And let me tell you something. As long as we continue to think like that, I'm going to get you back, then guess what? You sit yourself in a place. And I believe that's what happened. And I say that not for those who may be like, how you know? Because I've been that 13-year-old girl. My brother can tell you. I know what it's like to be fighting in the street and carrying on like that. And usually the way that it happens is that it will end if one of the parties gotta go. You feel what I'm saying? But if I'm standing there going, oh, you punched me. Oh, I'm not gonna let you get away with this. I'm not gonna let you get. Oh, you gonna get your. If I can, then guess what? It escalates. It stays in that place. So I just believe that we had a situation with some young Black girls who wasn't supposed to be at somebody's house trying to fight them. This girl pissed off because y'all done came to my house and tried to fight me. And we all know, we taught, if they bring it to your house, you better take care of them. We all taught that, right?
All right, Pam, what you got?
To her house. They bring it to her house. The fight clearly had stopped by this time, but because they brought it to her house, she wasn't going to be punked. So now she got a knife, and now she gonna show that she ain't no punk. And now we got two officers. One, I don't know if the other one's white or not, but now we got a white officer who don't know nothing about none of them. And then everybody want to act like, oh, this was a 15-year. Listen, I seen some 15-year-olds who will rock a grown man. I know some women. I know some who ain't playing when they fighting. They not playing. They trying to kill you. They trying to make you bad.
What you got, Pam?
Okay, what I'm gonna say is, I can't blame a 16-year-old for being a 16-year-old. I get what you're saying, Angel. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I guess I am kind of disagreeing with you, because I can't blame a 16-year-old for being a 16-year-old. Who I blame, honestly, is that auntie that was there. I blame any adult that didn't step in and try to rectify this situation.
So why isn't the auntie on camera? Why isn't the auntie on camera and all of us going, why did you have her out there? The auntie not on there. The police.
That's me. I'm saying, I'm the one saying that. I have said that from the beginning, because I did not want to speak on this until I really watched it. Because the first time I watched it, I said, ooh, I don't see what a police officer really did nothing wrong besides not use, something else besides a gun. But the auntie that come out there after the shooting, you was on the property. You was there. Why didn't you stop those kids from fighting? Why all those adults? I seen a lot of different people around. Why did no one say, hey, step in? Because a 16-year-old, because when I was 16, I'm like you, Angel, it wasn't nothing you could do not no other kid that you're going to do to stop me from being a head buster, because I'm going to shut the whole place down. Now, if my mama come out there, my my older aunties or whatever, and they say sit your butt down. I'm gonna sit, because we've had situations in my community where we were all fighting, and the only thing stopped it wasn't my sister, wasn't my brother, is when my mama came.
Well,
Hey,
I'm gonna just tell you, I was different.
I got a question.
I wasn't sitting around trying to be I wasn't sitting around trying to fight. I wasn't a head buster. I just fought back when
Right.
what I'm
I'm
saying.
saying
I
fight
went
back.
home.
I'm not saying for someone
But
to stop, but
and let
I
me
never started no fights. But I'm talking about
and let me clarify. I am not blaming her. I didn't say that. I said it's a culture that we have in a lot of our communities that where our children find themselves in these types of situations. And especially, my thing is, especially if you already know that there's some issues with policing and different neighborhoods and things like that, we got to work on the culture that says it's okay to be going to people's houses fighting and stabbing and then want to call the police.
right. That's my biggest fear as a mother, having a young child, is him being bullied or him being jumped on and all of that kind of stuff. I think that's any parent's greatest fear. You don't even know how to teach a child to handle a situation like that. You know, you
I
want
think y'all
them
missing
to
something.
defend themselves,
What?
but you also want to, then you got to say, hey, when to pull back and when to defend yourself.
Look,
you got to find that fine balance. And for a child to try to balance that out, it's hard.
look, there's something that I think, hold on. I think that there's something that's missing here. Thank you. There's something that's missing here. The girl on the phone said they're trying to hit my grandma. Her family has already been involved out there. Y'all missing it. They probably was about to walk them too. It ain't y'all trying to act like these aunts and whatever can stop all of these girls, these big giant women, because they was all full grown. I'm just saying, I don't care what age she was. She was big, she was grown. She was big enough to be on top of that car handling that other girl. And those girls were not there playing around with the listening to the adults. I don't know. I don't care who came out there or what adults came out there. They weren't listening to adults. They weren't listening to the police was out there.
Well,
so who cares if the adults is out there? The point is about cops and whether or not he was justified in stopping this girl in her tracks from coming down on the other girl. Whether or not the girl should be charged, the other 4 girls coming in there, that's another one, because they should be charged for coming and fighting this girl. But they were fighting this girl. So now we're getting into the situation where anybody that should you be charged in murder if somebody brings out a knife in a gunfight, or I mean in a fight, or like whose problem is it? Who's at fault?
Let me tell you something. You know, in Portland, Oregon, and where I have lived in that region, do you know you get more time for assault than drugs? It's all in the laws. That's it. It's in those local laws and those city and state. So here's the thing. Depending on what the law says, right? Yeah, I don't know what the law is there, but it could very well be that because they went to physically assault this girl and it ended up in her being murdered. I mean, depending on what the law says, who knows? I don't know. But here again, and I think y'all keep twisting my words, because I didn't say that I blamed the aunt or the girl. I say the culture.
I said it.
It is we cannot act like the culture isn't toxic when it comes to this kind of stuff. And so we can't expect that we can be in the street stabbing folks and then call the police and act like the police not gonna do nothing. To me, that's insane. You cannot be like, oh, we're gonna fight and oh, I'm gonna get a knife and stab whomever in front of the police that we called and they not gonna do nothing. It's just not, it doesn't make sense to me. It's not logical. Yeah. My thing is, if you didn't want anybody to have to deal with the police, then the police shouldn't have been called. You
Yeah.
should have dealt with it the way you deal with people who fighting. But no, clearly she thought it was severe enough to have to call the police. So guess what? Once you bring them in,
You
we
done
can
elevated
argue
it to
all
another
day
step.
long about excessive force and whatever. I'm not agreeing with it. I don't think that they do everything properly all the time. But what I'm saying is when they come, you don't know who coming. Just like they don't know who they going to police. You don't know which one of them boys in blue you gonna get. You don't know if you're gonna get a trigger happy one. You don't know if you're gonna get a friendly one. You don't know what you gonna get when they pull up. Therefore, we got to begin, just like we want them to think before they shoot, we gotta think before we call them.
We got.
I think she got.
Before we act, I'm sorry, Carlos.
I was gonna say I think that she just got a she thought the cops being there she could get a one-on-one. She had a fair opportunity to get the girl, like you said, get the girl back or get the girl not get jumped. Because the cops are here, okay, now we can fight fair. And I mean, some people do think that, okay, they're not gonna jump me now if we fighting and they're gonna stop me from getting my butt like toe up out of the frame, so to speak. But the problem is that she underestimated the situation. She thought that she was and she may have actually thought that she was protecting her property, or somebody might have said, "This is your property, girl. You can kill them if you want." I mean, I don't know. All I know is that when the topic is not the culture is a topic, but to me, it's not the topic. I think we got a problem now where the culture wants to nitpick every video. We need to pick the videos where they're actually doing this. Right here makes us look crazy if we stand behind this. If we stand behind this video and say and march and burn stuff down because this officer doesn't go to jail, which is totally possible because we can have signs 4 shots. Why 4 shot signs and t-shirts everywhere?
He's not going
right
to
after
jail.
that.
They can forget that. He's not
going
to jail.
Well, here's my thing.
He's not going to jail. He's not even going to get charged.
Well, we want to know why?
Be honest with you.
You want to know why he's not going to jail? He's not going to jail. If he's not going to jail, it's because the police department did something different this time and they released the webcam. Because prior to the webcam, you didn't see her coming down on that other girl. All you seen was her lying, this young girl lying on the ground dead. And I don't know if it was an auntie or whoever with their camera. That was a young girl. She was whatever, and they were screaming and hollering, blood and murder. That's all we got.
Mad at me, but I need black people to know this today.
Uh-oh.
I gotta say it. We gotta be just as mad when a white cop kills our loved ones when a black person kills our loved one. We gotta be just as mad. We gotta all these black kids, and I know this off the subject, but I just want to say this. All these black kids that are getting shot and nobody is witnessing it or nobody don't know, but they see exactly who shoots the person, but they ain't snitching because they don't want to snitch. But you mad about a white police officer killing a black person? You gotta be mad on both sides. You got to balance. Okay. But I just want to throw that out there. I know that wasn't the topic, but when you was talking, it just triggered something in me, and I was the one that said.
Okay, Harriet, tell me.
He makes me sick. I was the one that said that the black parents, not meaning black, white, whatever, the parents or whoever the guardian was and those other kids should be charged. I said that. I stand behind that. I was the one that said that.
Think the parents should be charged?
The police.
I think she was a foster. If I get it, I don't want to be wrong, but I think she was a foster child as well.
Yeah, I think her auntie was her foster parent.
Okay.
That's from what I can.
Okay.
I don't know all the specifics in terms of her life and all of that kind of stuff. Here again, you said that this whole thing was about whether or not the 4 shots was too much. Personally,
too much.
I think 4 shots was a bit much. I think it was too much to me.
So is 3 good? Is 2 good? Is 1 good? What's the limit?
1.
One shot. So this guy's like a superhero or something.
But if it's gonna be a shot,
he should have shot the knife out of her hand. That's what he should have did. He should have did a backflip over the police
You know,
car
you always got
in mid-air and shot the knife out of hand. What cartoon y'all in, man? You cannot. Nobody's gonna no. If
You know-
anything, he's good.
Carlos, I had a club.
You
I
had
had
a
a
club.
guy
Okay.
in the club with a gun.
Okay.
I'm a female. We had a guy in the club with a gun.
All right.
I wrestled the guy down with the gun. Me and another guy.
What's your point?
That's
Other than that's stupid
It's
as hell.
dangerous, but we did it, and we knew how to do it properly.
Look, I ain't signing up to be no police officer to wrestle no guys with guns in
But I'm
their
just
hands.
saying, if we can do it, I know the police officers.
Okay, that's you. You
They
crazy.
need to do some kind of
That's
martial arts.
not everybody. If nobody wants no. Okay, just it's
Ain't you
ridiculous.
laughing at me, but I'm serious.
I'm laughing at the both of y'all.
She said,
I feel like
"She
I'm
wrestling. You want this man to jump in the middle of a stabbing instead of
No,
shooting
I'm
his
not
gun?
saying
That
I'm
is
not saying that.
strategically
I'm saying
not."
he shouldn't have shot her. And if he did shoot her, one shot.
So
I feel
real
like
quick, I got a question. Say he didn't shoot her. Do you think he had time? Because you saw the video 15 times, right? So do you think he had enough time to deploy some other superhero method at that distance before she got stabbed? Do you think that girl would have not got stabbed with pepper spray from that distance?
I think a better question is this for the people, because I think about it, and anyway, if you ask yourself if the cop or the police officer had shot her once and she still died, would everybody be okay?
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, because nobody's okay that she's dead. But listen to what I'm saying, because if the issue is that it was 4 shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he had shot her once and maybe shot her in the head, or he shot her where in the heart or something, and she died immediately with 1 shot, would we still be outraged?
That is an excellent question. That's an excellent question because you're saying it's okay he killed her. You just don't like how he did it.
Yeah, I'm like this. If me and you fighting, right?
Okay.
I'm trying to defend myself.
Okay.
But I shoot you once and you fall down, and then I come back and I go shoot you 3 more times.
Pam, that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
But that's not what happened.
You seen it 25 times.
I know, but
what I'm saying is the gunshots was pop, 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 pop. It wasn't pop, 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 So what I'm saying to you is he was trying to subdue her. He was not trying to shoot a shot. They keep fighting. Shoot a shot. They keep fighting. What you're talking about is ridiculous. What you're talking about is premeditated murder. Because if you shoot somebody and they not moving no more, and then you go over there again, then you're doing premeditated murder. It's different.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
But what am I missing?
I'm saying if I'm defending myself and I shoot you once,
right.
and that should be good enough. If I keep shooting, then I feel like it was excessive. Then I can go to jail. If I shoot you once and say defense, I was defending myself.
Pam, I got love. But you've been watching too many movies.
I think if those were 2 white women, let me just say 2 white females, just in case, because he didn't know she was 15. Okay,
right.
So if it were 2 white females, I believe honestly that neither one of them would have got shot. I feel like the officer. One of them officers that was there would have tried to bum rush her, would have made an effort to race to get her and knock her over or something. I just don't believe that if it was 2 white women doing that one of them would have ended up dead. I just don't believe that would have happened.
I think we got too many.
White women get in fights too. They do all kind of crazy wild stuff as well. I just don't believe that if we switched the race of everybody out there and they were You know, and those were white people, two white women going at each other, and white people standing around. And this white officer comes up. I think he would have tried harder to get her attention, and would have probably tried to bum rush her versus shoot her. I just don't believe he would have tried. He would have just thought, I'm a shoot first. I just don't believe it. And I think that is the issue.
Well, if that is the issue, I understand that, because that's been our issue. That's the cause.
To me,
that's the cause.
My issue is, why is it that when you showed up and things were crazy and then disarray and everything was wild, and you had a split seconds moment to think about what to do, why is it that when you see Black people and big Black people, you automatically, like, it's an automatic response? Can you respond that way? Yes. Do they train you to respond that way? Yes. But do they tell you have to respond that way? I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think.
You use your own judgment in these situations.
So then the question is, why is the judgment always to shoot first when it comes to Black people?
Well, I would say can't say always. Always.
You're right. Always is a strong word. I take that back. I take back always. But I'm going to say, why is it that what we're seeing, right, a large part of the time, that but then when we because you know what, I won't say that, but it makes me think about being a school teacher. And I know it's different, but kind of not sometimes, because them jokers be awful in them schools. But I remember white teachers, not all, but there were some, white teachers, when they saw Black kids doing certain things, their automatic response was something negative and crazy. Automatic. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's automatic. I'm going to grab you up, take you to the office. You about to be suspended. Automatic. But then you would have teachers like me who would be like, let's talk to them first. Let's see what happened. You know what I'm saying? They probably deserve detention or ISS or something, but come on, suspension, expulsion. No. So my issue is, why is your automatic reflex, when you could choose to do something else, why does it seem like your on-go default is to shoot Black people first, not white folks?
Right. Go ahead.
I think that if in fighting is different than when it comes to knife. If you get to that level, I don't foresee a cop worth his salt letting anybody just come down and stab another person. I mean, in mid stab, not we both got a knife, we sitting there talking. Mid stab, you over here, I'm over here. This ain't no going running for somebody.
Just think about the little white boy that shot up them people with a gun. They took that joker down. They ain't kill him at all. He just shot up a whole school with the gun still in his hand, and that joker was, he could have had any, just the fact that you know he just shot this place up,
right,
and he still has a gun. He could have easily you could have assumed that he might pick it up and shoot, but they didn't. They took him down, without, even though they didn't think he was gonna kill somebody. Right. He done killed some folks, right? And he still have the gun, not a knife, but the gun. He could have sprayed anybody at that point. Right. However, he was not murdered. And even when they have people in those type of situations, they all the time want to take the perpetrator down without killing them so they can stand trial. So then why is it that you got this female with a knife? You mean to tell me there was no way you could bum rush her? There was nothing you could potentially possibly do to get her to her day in court alive?
I would say this: when you got a military, when you have to militarize the police, when you have to militarize the police, you already have a shooter, say on a college campus, etc. If he's in the process a shooting, they'll shoot him. If he's wandering around, etc., they'll try to do what they can to take him down. If he's in the process of a shooting, what they want to do is, if he's walking around, what they want to do is capture him. That's their protocol. They have a premeditated plan. If you're in a situation as a cop, you don't have a premeditated plan. You don't have an organized situation. You have to either do this or not. So what I'm saying is a different situation.
How many of those black shooters are still alive?
They got, yeah. I mean, I would say
them that's still alive that the police.
Well, first off, it ain't a lot of black shooters.
No, but it's some. But it's some.
Yes, there's some.
Are they
have taken. No, that's not zero. No, they have taken.
They did.
I think no, that's not true.
If they ain't turn themselves in,
you just talking. They did. Okay.
I'm gonna have to go research that.
Yes, research that. They're not all dead. They have shot them. They've shot, but they've not. But this is the thing. They've shot. They've shot people. They've shot white assailants too. They have shot them.
Yeah, but they only shoot them when
and they have. What I'm saying,
not to kill them.
Well,
right.
There's no debating the fact that they give us. I'm trying not to cuss. They give us hell. They're way more biased towards us than that. I would. So then
that's what I'm saying, bro.
What I'm saying though, in this situation, I don't think this is an example. This is my point. We got to be specific about our battles.
Well,
right? About our battles. This is not an example of that. You got a black girl about to kill another black girl. If the police officer wouldn't have stopped, no. We were white students. Hey, we're gonna complain regardless. That's my problem. We're gonna complain regardless. If he had not shot her and she stabbed that other girl in the neck and she died, y'all have been like, oh, y'all just want us to die.
Yeah, she would have her day in court and
we're gonna complain. Oh, now it's too many shots. Or hey, maybe you should have went and jumped in front of the knife. Or hey, where mama at that just got beat up? She had to call the police because they trying to beat grandma up and all this. Where all the parents at? We're gonna complain about everything about this situation. Instead of saying, okay, this ain't our battle. This particular situation is not our cause. This particular situation, she was supposed to get shot because she was about to stab somebody's daughter. Yes, the other daughter was there illegally.
Mm-hmm.
In the wrong, but she was in the commits, whatever you call it, of a crime. She was in the middle of committing murder, potential murder. Okay, you can't ignore that. You can't give all these excuses on, oh well, maybe you should have threw a rope around her legs and let her trip up. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you should have set up a trap above a tree and then some waterfall on her head and she got out disorder. I mean, whatever kind of crazy stuff y'all think supposed to happen for the police to do when he ain't nowhere near. You got to go look at. I know you looked at it 50 times, 55 times. I'm not sure how many times you said it was a lot. You say you watched it over and over again, right? And you said he was close enough.
7 times. I mute myself.
Right. He was close enough. He was close enough
many times
to right. So he was close enough to do all these other tricks that you're talking about. That's not true. That man was not close enough to do that.
Okay.
He was not close enough to pepper spray to work in mid-stroke.
Okay,
quit watching cartoons.
Okay, this I guess this is what I can say. And
then we're gonna round it out.
Right. So this is what I'm gonna say. I am like this. I feel like why is a gun the first choice when it comes to the black community? Period. I don't feel like he assessed the situation. I feel like he needs more training. Period.
Okay.
Was he right? Hold on. Was he right to do what he had to do in that moment? I agree.
You can't do both then. You can't do both. You can't agree and disagree at the same time.
Because he don't have proper training, they don't know any better. All they know is they are threatened by the black community. And back to what Angel was saying about school, I can relate to that. I remember when my son was in school and a police officer, he got 2 days in school suspension during Spirit Week because a police officer said he was dancing and could have made a riot or a fight because he was dancing. He became a threat to the school because he was dancing.
Okay.
That's what the police officer said about my child. So automatically, no matter what we do, we can do the nay-nay and they scared. Oh my God, he's doing the nay-nay. And guess what?
This girl's not
Okay,
doing the nay-nay. All right. She was about to walk the knife through nay-nay, do that. You right in the neck of this girl. She was not dancing. Okay. This was not no
I just
game.
said,
Y'all
we automatically
diminishing
a
the fact
threat.
of the severity of the situation. Okay. You're diminishing it. Yes, he could have. I don't know what. I really don't know what other thing other than shoot her, because she was not. She's cops out there. There's cops out there.
Right.
There's police out there, and she still didn't give a damn.
Okay.
What part of that you don't understand?
Like Angel said you could tackle them. I said
Oh
you
my
could
dude,
mace them.
she was in mid-stroke. Ain't no tackling. Ain't nobody
Okay, what about
Olympic. Ain't no Olympic stars on the cop.
What about the
office?
gun?
Maybe they need to hire
department.
some then. Maybe they need to hire some.
Ain't no javelin throwers that's gonna throw a stick and knock it out. Ain't no Olympic.
Maybe they need to hire some
triathlons on the department. Nobody.
Hello.
No, stop it. Okay, now I'm gonna give y'all something. Okay, I'm gonna give you something with this whole they've not trained thing, which I said a long time ago, and y'all killed that because y'all was like, oh, don't get no more police.
Hold on.
But listen, let me.
I don't think that is that he's not. I think he was trained very well.
Right. Well, he can shoot. He can shoot like a mug because he didn't even hit the other girl. He didn't even hit the other girl. So, but this is the thing. Listen. The training that he should have had would have been the diffusing the threat, putting people in different areas, policing the area, not just standing around. Right. You see these people arguing, you walk over to that situation. You see this, they ain't going, it's a lot less chance for somebody to start swinging knives over police, even though they will. Just move people. You see these people a threat, what's going on. I don't know how quick after they got there. They couldn't tell who because it's a crowd of people. So again, we don't know what the situation was up into that. All we know is they showed them getting out of the car. That means he arrived. He got out the car and immediately they started fighting. Okay. This ain't I can assess the situation. We got an assailant with a knife coming down on somebody else. Somebody called the police. I don't know who. Doesn't really matter. So I don't know why that's an issue, why that's even a thing that she's the one to call the police, because she's the one who had the knife. So it's like you can't justify someone being in the wrong. You can't justify right by somebody else being in the wrong. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
If I'm home,
just because one group was wrong don't mean her wrong is right, because they wrong was wrong. I feel right.
That's a mouthful.
But I feel you on that right. because I don't know about y'all, but I've seen how police officers, when they show up, I don't know what they be doing because I'm not a cop, but a lot of times they do take their time getting out the car. Like they just chopping it up. My thing is, if you know that there's an active fight happening, like people are being attacked, there are knives or whatever, I would think that you will have already prepared yourself for when you get there to come on and get out and diffuse the situation, like Carlos was saying. But a lot of times we see
they're scared. I believe that.
I know that I've seen police officers to get out the car and then they be moseying on. I'm like, chop, like hurry up, something's going on here, right?
Yeah. And
I think they haven't prepared themselves properly on the ride there or whatever. I don't know, because I can't put on their but I do agree with you, Carlos, in that they definitely need some better training on diffusing.
You gotta be careful, because they want to, when they said defund the police, and I was like, no, give them more money towards the right training so they're not afraid, so they know how to fight correctly, so they're not getting their done taken. They're like, oh, don't give them no more training. You want to retrain the police? You want to give them more training? Unquote.
Actually, and the truth is this: you can give them all the training you want, but it's some of it is a mindset. Some of those officers need their whole mindset towards people of color, period, need to shift. And you can train them to diffuse or whatever, but if your default is always I need to handle black people differently. If that's your default, even if I train you on different strategies and techniques, right? You're still going to do things disproportionately differently. So it's a mindset. There are some of these.
Well, I'm going to tell you what the mindset is. I'm going to tell you what the mindset is. The mindset is that they're afraid of their culture. They're afraid of us. They don't know how to fight half the time. Yeah. I know this from police officers' word of mouth. They get their butt ripped. Okay? If you don't know how to fight, you always going to think the first thing you're going to do is pop somebody because you're scared.
I gotta put my finger up, y'all. I gotta put my thumb up at 8. It's 7:33.
All right. I'm gonna let her go ahead and wrap it up. Go ahead, Pam.
Okay, let me say this. Okay, I know my little boy, he gonna be mad at me, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. The little boy that worked for me, he said he wanted to be a police officer.
Okay.
I said, boy, stop. Can you fight? Cause you scared already. This is a conversation we just had. I'm just talking about being scared.
That's my word.
Why you want to be a police officer?
Right.
I want to bring law and order. But can you fight?
Right.
It seems like you've been bullied.
Right.
And pushed over. And
case in point.
Be a police officer.
Case in point.
You know what I'm saying?
Why you put that baby business on this?
I told him
well, she didn't say the name, but anyway. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You're always gonna be afraid. That's dudes in the hood. That's anybody. If you can't fight and you think people gonna pick on you, the first thing you going to the weapon. If that girl thought that she could walk them other girls, she wouldn't have got a knife. She was afraid, so she gonna go to the next level up. Right. That's what cops do. They have to get I've seen it a million times. Most of the time when we marching, it's because our people have beat the crap and damn near took the nightstick and beat them with it and took their gun and all of this other stuff because not true. Look, I'm not saying every situation, but a lot of the times they dragging the hell out of them police. And them police have to put a chokehold on it and be 4 or 5 of them. Why you need 4 or 5 dudes if you can fight?
All right.
But anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Yeah, let's wrap it up. Because we can apparently keep going all night.
All right. So who going to say the last?
It's a record.
How we going to do this?
Just like we normally do it. Let's get our guests, and I'll go, and then you say your soliloquy, and we get
down. There we go. Boom.
Let's go. What you got, Angel?
First.
What am I supposed to say right now?
You're supposed to give your last words to wrap up what we talked about, kind of give something, maybe a solution. That'd be a good, and then tell us a little bit more about Speak Up Sis, please.
Gotcha. So I feel like throughout the conversation, I think that I have done a fairly decent job of telling you all what I think and in terms of solutions, because I think in terms of solutions, not problems.
I feel you.
That's how I see things. I believe first and foremost, I say this all the time, Black people have to love Black people more than we hate white people. And when we get to a place where our love for one another is stronger than the hate that we have for white oppression and white racism, then we will begin to shift the culture that we live in. And I think it's important for us to love us enough to teach our children different ways of dealing with situations and altercations and people who don't like them and things of that nature. I think that we have to love ourselves enough to teach our children and ourselves how to handle situations so we don't have to always rely on outsiders to come in our neighborhoods to police us. We should be able to manage our own neighborhoods without needing law enforcement to come in and do that. I also think that it is very important for officers, because I'm not one of those people who believe that we shouldn't have the police. I've lived in neighborhoods that ain't have no police. It could get hard in some of them neighborhoods if nobody is coming. So I'm definitely not one to say that there should be no police. However, I do think it's important that police officers be vetted. That is not a profession where we should just let anybody who want to be a cop because we don't have enough cops. I think it's better to have less officers who have stronger mindsets, who are more caring and compassionate about the people that they have to police. I believe it's better to have less but more of them than to have a whole bunch in quantity who don't give a crap about the people that they're policing, right? And I also think that, and my final thought is that we've got to have spaces like this where people can be honest. Black people should be able to share their opinions. They should be able to share their ideas and their thoughts without being canceled, without being, you ain't black no more and all the rest of these things. I think when we talk about the civil rights movement and fighting for freedoms and things, we always want to talk about all these people died for us to have the right to do something. And at the same time, we take away the very right. They didn't just fight for us to have the right to vote. They fought for us to have the same equal rights as white people, which means if white people don't want to vote, they don't. And don't nobody say nothing to them. But if and this is an example, if a black person says they don't want to vote, you got other black people who will take away the very right. The right is for you to have the right to do what you want to do under the law. But we don't even allow our people to have the fullness of the rights that we say we're fighting for. We all should be able to share our thoughts and opinions, to come up with solutions on platforms like this without feeling like we're going to be canceled, beat up, cussed out, and just, pushed to the side because our thoughts are different. I think all of us putting all of our thoughts together, we can actually come up with a solution. And I'm sorry, I got to run, everybody. My name is Angel Charmaine. I am founder of Speak Up Sis LLC. Right. You all can check me out at speakupsis.com.
All right. Appreciate that, Angel. I'm going to go right into it, make it short and sweet. I think it just boils down to what we think is what everybody else has to say is more important than what we feel is actually the truth. And so we just say whatever everybody else is going with. And I think that's a coward way out. I think it's very cowardly to not stand up for what you actually believe because you think everybody else is not going to like that. So I applaud everyone that has their opinion, the strong opinion, whether it's on this side or that side. Now, when we get back to the subject at hand, I think it boils down to what I always say. It always comes down to the kids. God rest her soul. RIP to this young lady who lost her life. And who knows what else is going to come out of this situation where the other young ladies may face some charges. Their life is going to be changed. Somebody lost their daughter, etc. But it comes down to us having control over our children to the point to where we at least can tell them to stop. And someone else of an adult in an authoritative position can say, okay, look, that's enough. And they actually listen. And we've lost our children in that fact. They don't listen to us, no matter who's around. Police officers being around, other adults being around, doesn't matter. They're far gone, and we need to reel them on back. So go ahead, spank them bad behind kids. And Pam, what you got? That's my last word. All right, you got to unmute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always say we're stronger together. And one thing I can say is, as a Black community, we have to stop glorifying bad behavior. We glorify bad behavior on social media. We record it. We share it. We like it. We constantly share it more and more and more. And our people are suffering because we're glorifying bad behavior. We are calling people punks and they weak because they're willing to walk away from a situation instead of understanding that is strength. It takes a lot of strength to walk away from a situation. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to this situation, we have to pick our battles. We have to see what is right and what is wrong. We have to take things like this as a teachable moment to teach our children the things that they shouldn't be doing and what they should be doing. the police job is not an easy job. I respect every police officer that goes out there every single day that put their lives on the line so
Okay.
that we can be safe. And
Mm-hmm.
that take courage. And we have to stop letting police officers that are scared. If you, I think, and I know this might be, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be done.
Mm-hmm.
If you were scared in high school, you're gonna be scared when you grown.
Mm-hmm.
Sit your butt down. You can't be no
Mm-hmm.
police officer and you scared. You were
Mm-hmm.
scared in high school. But now you
Yep.
want to be a police officer because you want to let that badge be power. That badge is not no power. It's still you still behind that badge is still gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
coward person. So if
Mm-hmm.
you don't have no strength and you're not able to stand up and not be afraid and just pull out a gun, because most people that pull out a gun and shoot fast in the streets, they don't know how to fight and they scared. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just being honest. So a police officer has to be held to a higher standard than just a regular person. And like Carlos said, we need better training for these police officers. I almost feel like you need 4 years of training to be a police officer. Honestly,
No,
not
they take
because
more money, right?
4 years of training that you have to
No,
pay for.
you
If
no
you want
you.
to be
Oh, you
if you
want to?
want to be a
Oh,
lawyer, if
oh.
you want to be a lawyer, you got to
Okay.
pay to be a lawyer. If you want to be a teacher, you got to pay to be a teacher.
Ah,
Why are we
okay.
paying for them to
That's
be a
that.
police
I hear
officer?
you. I agree.
All
That's a
right, those are
that's a
my
that
last
good.
words.
All right. Well, y'all just stay tuned. I'm not really sure how well this is gonna go over. Hopefully, it makes the broadcast, or makes it onto the show. But everybody that didn't get a chance to comment on this time, I'm sure y'all will have a ball when y'all see this. This has been a really interesting show. Y'all stay tuned next week, 5:30 Sundays, every Sunday. Perspective, and we out.
Bye bye.